Konco Virtual, welcome back to DTC Dinda Tahir channel. Well, as human beings, I believe that all of us have ever experienced that feeling of moving from the past to the future, from one place to another, or from the old house to the new one. And that's what I'm going to talk about in Dinda. So, review buku. Alright Cover, before I show you the book that I'm going to review in this video, let me tell you a brief story of my life that is really related to the book. Well, in my life, I've moved out for 4 times. From my mom's house to a flat near my office, and from this flat I moved back again to my mom's house, and from my mom's I rented a flat again, not so far from my mom's but nearer to Jakarta. And from that last flat I moved again to, here, finally my own house. Well, I reckon that the last one was the hardest because at that time I already felt very comfortable with that place, even though that wasn't so big, but it's just so cozy. And because the room was small, so it was very easy for me to clean it. So when I was preparing to move out, I read this book. What's that? This is it. Manusia Pura-Pura. What's wrong with me? Alright, Manusia Setengah Salmon by Raditya Dika. In English, you can call it Half Salmon Man by Raditya Dika. Is one of my favorite authors and also one of my favorite artists, content creators, and my most favorite stand-up comedian. Well, I've watched every stand-up comedy performances that he's done, but too bad I never get the chance to watch him directly because the tickets were always sold in a blink of an eye. So I only watch him on YouTube all this time. But one day I hope that I will get that opportunity. So Raditya Dika, what's wrong with my tongue? Oh my god, okay. So Raditya Dika is actually a flat guy with no expression on his face, but for me, everything that he says sounds very funny. I actually know him from this comedy drama called Malami Gumiko. I think Konco Virtual, you have to watch it because it's very funny and entertaining. And you know, one of his characteristics that I like the most is that he never dresses too much. You know, I think he's unlike any other celebrities who like to wear branded stuffs because he always shows up with only a t-shirt, short and sandals. That's why I really like him. But I'm not gonna talk about him all along this video, so let's jump out to the very first review. The cover. After that, the cover is kind of funny and it's very typical of Raditya Dika's books, always mixing a particular animal with human. Like this. You see, it's his face and half of it is covered with fish scale and there are bubbles here indicating that he's in the water. I think the design reflects the title in a very good way, as you see that the title is Half Salmon Man and the design is like this. Alright, let's move to the back cover. There was the synopsis, and as you know that it is one of the parts of the book when the main character is having conversation with his mother. And if you start reading this, you will find some funny drawings like this, because it's actually a random book. But trust me, it's worth reading. Alright, let's talk about the characters. The main character is indeed the writer himself, Raditya Dika, who's usually called Dika, but I prefer Radit because it's cooler and easier to pronounce. And there's also his family, his mother, father, 4 siblings, and also his friends as well as his exes. By the way, I'm so sorry that the quality of my video is really bad because it's cloudy outside. While it's only 4 p.m. I think it's gonna rain really hard. But anyway, let's go on. Okay, after the characters, let's jump out into the point of the story. It's more about Radit's daily life, especially his feeling about moving on. So in his life, Radit has moved from house to house because of his mother, for the reason that the house was too small for the big family. And he says that life is full of uncertainty, but moving on is the one that is certain. Just like salmon. Do you know that salmon have to travel for miles away to spawn against the grain? And even the river salmon can swim up to 1448 kilometers. That's the twice distance from Jakarta to Surabaya. But the journey isn't easy, you know, because in the middle of the way they can die under some threats like exhaustion or being eaten by bears. But they move anyway, no matter what happens in the way. And Radit also wrote about his experience when he was in the Netherlands for the summer course. There he met someone who later became his best friend in the Netherlands with a very funny name. His name is Prek. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but yeah. In Bahasa Indonesia, Prek means prostitute in a rude way. We usually use this word to, you know, mock someone, women particularly. So it's a kind of funny name, funny word, for name. Let's move on to what I don't get from the book. Well, I felt that some of the jokes weren't funny, but I reckon that that's normal for a comedy, very common. So not every part has to be funny. And now what I get from the book, so many things. But the thing that I know for sure is that Radit is very close to his family and they are so open to each other, especially his father. He's so funny. And you know, the message that I got from the book is that no matter how hard it is to move out, but we have to move away, move on, so that we can be more mature and thrive. So that's why I told you that this book is really related to my condition at that time, to the situation of me wanting to move out from the flat. Because you know, at that time I was really worried that I wouldn't be comfortable, but it turned out that I am totally, completely very comfortable in my house, even more comfortable than staying in the flat. So the reward that I give for this book is 4 stars. Yes, I recommend this book to you, especially if you like comedy, but I reckon that you are sad, you can read this book because it can entertain you and it can make you laugh out loud, seriously, so that you can forget your sadness for a while. And FYI, I finished reading this in the bathroom for about 1 week, if I'm not mistaken. So I have this habit that is to read in the bathroom every morning while pooping. Because you know, in the morning the brain is still fresh and it's so good to read while pooping or to poop while reading. I don't know, but that's just so dope for me. What about you, controversial? Comment below. Alright, that's it from now. I hope my video entertains you and makes you wanna read. See you in the next video. Bye!